Hello, everyone, and welcome to this space and conversation here at Novicell. And today we have a fantastic guest. I'm here with Morten from Bluestone. Hello, Morten. How you doing?
Hey, doing good.
Nice to have you here, Morten. Um, you know, mm, I follow you online, and I hear a lot about your thoughts and ideas about PIM, right, and AI. And I like because you have a very interesting ideas, but also you are a maker. I mean, your ideas end up in a real product that you're responsible for. So you take care of your words, right? You are tracing the path of AI in the product. That's why I love this very thoughtful idea. So I would like to share this moment with you to talk a little bit about AI. But first, I would like you to do a short intro about yourself and Bluestone PIM. So you tell us a little bit more about yourself. Go ahead.
So, I'm Morten Næss. I'm the Chief Product and Innovation Officer at Bluestone PIM. So, like you said, I take care of our product, or I'm responsible for the product, but also innovation and development, of that. We're the direction we're going, and a lot of this is AI moving forward when it comes to the PIM space. It's very AI heavy, right? So that's one thing that I do. I'm also where I know Novicell from is the Mac Alliance. So I've been a part of the Mac Alliance for a long time, and I'm leading admissions now. I was actually a part of when Novicell
Oh,
became a
you
member of
gave
the
us
Mac
the
Alliance.
thumbs up.
I did. I sure did. So
Nice
that
to
was
hear.
yeah. Your CTO Adam was a part of that. So
Yeah,
so
that's
that was
nice.
back in the day. So that's also a part of what I do. Yeah.
I
And
didn't know the
when it comes
story.
to Bluestone PIM, yeah, we're product information management system. We were the first in the Mac Alliance, and we take pride in being like the most composable PIM, 700 plus event-driven endpoints, and also very techy, and scalable. And also when it comes to AI, we're quite yeah advanced in that area also.
You know what I love about you guys is that I don't know if you heard this speech of Satya Nadella that he says LMs are commodities. So right now is not how far that tech can go, but how good are you to implement that in real cases. That and I love the focus that you Morten are putting in to make AI a usable feature within your product.
Yeah.
I really see that focus.
Yeah, and that's a really um, a thing that I'm thinking a lot about these days, because I see that everyone has implemented the low hanging fruits,
Right.
right? So
Yeah, true.
so like enrichment and stuff like that. But what I see is that that's not where the big value is. Once you start really digging into the possibilities of AI, that's where you see the real value and where things are going to change so much over the next 5 years. And in my mind, either you're part of that or you're not. And I feel that a lot of yeah companies in this space have thought of AI like it's just another commodity, like or something that is coming along, like
Uh,
Mac or GDPR or something like that. That has some focus for a few years. While I think that they've misunderstood, AI is going to be a little bit more than that. It's going to be a very different thing. It's going to be, especially in the PIM space, life changing for us.
true. I like that. Listen, Martin, I have sort of like a game for you, if that's fine. Okay. This is it. I have prepared some observations about the interactions between AI and a PIM. And I would like to drop those to you here on screen. You don't know them. It might be a little bit of a
No.
surprise. And
Yep.
I would
We'll
like to
see.
hear your thoughts about if it's a yay or a nay, and then give us a little bit more of context on so we can all pick your brain in regards to AI and PIM features. Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm excited to see what you come up with. So
Okay.
hopefully,
Okay.
it can be valuable. We'll see. We'll try.
Okay. Then let's start. Let's go with the first one. The first one is AI to generate product descriptions and attributes. Yay or nay?
It's a yay. That's one of the long hanging fruits. Uh, Moderation there is that you're saying all product description. I don't think it will create all product descriptions.
Okay.
I
Give me
think
more
it
about that.
will. Yeah, because um, you might want to keep control. This really depends on how many products and what your products are like, right? Some of our clients have millions of products. Definitely, down the road, a lot of this will be automated. But then we have clients who have 5,000 products that are sort of more sophisticated products, or more where you sort of keep a manual control, especially in the near future. You will keep a manual control. But this is definitely a low-hanging fruit, both for descriptions and attributes. And this is a standard feature in Bluestone PIM. It's called AI Enrich, where you can do this, and you can also use image inputs even. So it will also analyze the AI. The LLM will analyze the images that the product has, and also create attribution and descriptions based on that.
Okay, media. So we go a little bit further in the questions that I have, because what is your thought about AI to generate virtual models posing for your product? Is a yay or a nay?
So I assume that you're talking about media then, models, or
Yes. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
generating that. And that is I've thought of that a lot too. So that's a yay too, but with modifications in the beginning. So what
Okay.
we see is now that virtual models or virtual backgrounds is definitely something that will
Okay.
happen. So that means that if you have like a garment, like a person that is wearing a real product, so a real or a fake person wearing a
Yeah.
real product, we'll definitely see a lot of that. A real product with a fake background, we'll definitely see a lot of that. That's happening. All of these things are sort of already happening. It's sort of we can do it manually. It's not automated in Wisdom PIM yet, but it's sort of things that are available to us. And then the big question is, down the road, what is happening with the products themselves? Will they
Yeah.
also be virtual? And I think that's maybe, or definitely for some products. For simple products, yes, yay. And for complex products, it will be a legal thing. You're when you're buying something, you want to buy what you're looking at.
Like there will be perhaps a disclaimer, right? That this
It
product
will
is not
probably
yet.
be a
Yeah.
disclaimer, yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
I like
But
it.
definitely down the road, I think that also will be AI generated. But because you can imagine, like, some of our larger clients have studios that are multi-million-dollar operations,
Yeah.
where they just take pictures of the products.
Yeah.
That whole industry is changing by, that's changing so much.
I believe we all have seen already the first like demos or whatnot in the with the new Gemini capabilities of image generation, and we have seen some sort of test of clothing on top of another person, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've done some LinkedIn posts on that in the past, on
I've
how that
seen it.
you can do that. But that's definitely where we're going. So yeah, yay.
Nice. Okay, another one. AI to suggest bulk data cleanup, right? We know that in PIM, one of the main values is that quality of data.
Yeah,
Tell me a little bit more about that. Is it a yay or a nay for data cleanup,
it's
duplicates, and so on?
yeah, it's a definite yay. This is happening. We already have our newest AI feature, which is called the AI Analyst. Does this? It looks very different from product to product how this is done. and how advanced you can do it. But it's an obvious thing that is happening more and more. The thing with the analyst that is interesting how we're doing it is that we're basically training the LLM on perfect products on the fly.
So you give them, this is a good standard, right? So this is what you should be looking for as a okay, right?
Yeah. So it's the back to the machine learning thought, of the machine learning age of AI, I guess. So it's a combination of that and utilizing the power of LLMs on top of that. So and that works really, really well. So that's a definite yay.
Is it that perhaps a case where, I mean, customers with a high volume of products, they have more, of course, difficulties, right? So it's increased sometimes exponentially, sometimes to handle that. That will be perhaps a case where the more products you have, the better this feature will work because you have more data to train, perhaps?
Yeah, we've done some testing on that. That's quite interesting. The impressive part that is that the AI feature works really well without a huge data set to train on. It doesn't need a lot of examples. I'm thought like, for example, just 30 examples or something like that.
Okay.
30 or something like that in that sort of range is enough to make it understand quite well. And we haven't seen a huge difference between training on a lot more. We haven't, like, there is a cost element to this also.
Okay, yeah,
and this is an interesting, the nerdy part of this, because this is where you're looking at the difference between RAG training and CAG training, which is like sort of RAG training is upfront and CAG training is on the fly. And what you're utilizing is, this is very technical, but it's still interesting. I promise.
Should we go for the audience? This RAG thing is like your standard Chat GPT plus your custom database, right? So custom information,
Yes.
your own.
So that's sort of RAG training. So,
Okay.
but it's, the whole thing is that it's done. It's pre-trained sort of. So you're doing that in front, and then you're asking the model. So CAG training is different because you can do that on the fly. So basically, you're sending data and utilizing the context window of the LLM, right? And you're utilizing that context window to train on the fly. Okay. Now that has some limitations, of course, but it's also super flexible and super cool that it works that way, because then you can, like I said, train on the fly, and you can also, it's super easy to jump between models.
Okay,
because you can just send, but it has some requirements to the token window or the context window. It utilizes that, so that means that you can't train it on hundreds of thousands of products, because that would eat up the whole context window.
And that context window, we've seen that keeps increasing, right? We were talking at the beginning like hundreds, then thousands, then tens of thousands, now the 100,000 of tokens.
Yeah. And Google released the Gemini 2.5 experimental.
When was that?
Like
yesterday?
Last night. Yeah, that was 10 hours ago or something.
Okay.
It was last night, basically our time. But that has a context window of 1 million tokens, right?
1 million tokens.
So and we also see, I've also seen models with 2 million token context windows. So this is changing so much, and it's a super interesting but nerdy side of things. But it's basically CAG training versus RAG training, and how to utilize that.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. For context, on the context, sorry, for the meta, I have heard that the 1 million or 2 million context was capable of holding like all the Harry Potter books just in the context, right? Just to give you an idea of what is that.
Like it's insane, and like it's not that long ago that the context window was 32 32,000 tokens, right? And now it's 1 million, 2 million. So it's changing so much.
So fast. Well, I have another one. Let's go with the next one. AI to describe a product out loud. We all use Alexa or maybe our smart devices, and then writes all the content attributes automatically.
I think
PIM,
you have
PIM on the go, if you want. Is that a yay or a nay?
I think you have to explain a little bit more before I say a yay or a nay, because you're saying you're describing a product out loud. What do you mean by that?
You are, for instance, with your microphone and you watch the
Oh,
product and they say, well,
so
this
it's
is lovely.
voice.
It's a lovely. Yes.
Yeah, so it's voice AI. Yeah. So, your questions are full of rabbit holes for me. We can keep going for hours about this.
Okay.
But definitely down the road, yay, this is happening. If I don't know if the audience has tested that, but lately, if you think that voice AI is talking to Siri, you've been asleep for a while.
A little
Because
bit.
if you look at things like the latest research, like the Sesame models,
Oh,
so we can, I'm sure, put a link somewhere about where the audience can try the Sesame models.
yeah.
They are it's scary. It's so good that it even understands when you're taking pauses, when you're
Mm,
thinking. It takes
mm,
pauses itself. So that's sort of the communication part. That's the feedback. But
yeah.
you're also saying that talking into a microphone would be something that you could, like, the other way, the input.
Could also perhaps, just thinking out loud, could give you feedback, the AI for the PIM as well. It's like, hey, you maybe want to tell me the size, because understand that you're not providing the size. I
Yeah.
don't know.
This is definitely it is definitely possible if it's the smart thing to do, or
Yeah.
the effective way of working. I'm not so sure
Yeah.
about, because it will be a party trick
I
describing,
get it. True.
because
Yeah.
it's not an effective way of doing. And especially if you have 1 million products in 90 languages in your
Mm.
ERP, you're not like that.
Good point. Not so
It's
feasible.
yeah,
No.
it's possible, but it's not. It's more of a party trick. But the whole voice AI thing,
Yeah.
that's happening, communicating. I mean, this keyboard here is based on a 150-year-old standard, the Qt standard, right? Designed so that the typewriters didn't clog up, and
Yeah. Yeah.
like 150, like, this is not an effective way of
No.
communicating, right? So the whole voice thing is definitely coming.
And I see the one that you mentioned, Sesame. So for the
Yeah,
audience, if they it also, you can try that free on the
yeah, it's
own
free.
website.
Yeah,
There these new, and not necessarily mention it that way, but this new level of like Turing test, but for voice conversation, that is getting quite close. We
it's
sometimes get tricked maybe by the spammer call phone that we start the conversation is, oh no, it's a machine. We're getting close there, right?
it's I think we're beyond close already. It's um just give it 3 months and we're there.
Oh my
it's
god. Okay.
it's insane.
Let's jump to the next one. AI writes customer stories, okay, maybe fake customer stories, to promote products like reviews and stuff like that. Yay or nay? Yay or nay? Let me rephrase that. Yay or nay first in terms of capability? Is the AI capable of doing that? And yay or nay if we should go down that road?
Yeah, definitely yay on if it's capable. I'm sure you see all these discussions online now. If you're active on whatever social platform you're on TikTok or Facebook or wherever you are, you'll see a lot of comments, and many of these comments are already bots, right? That are designed to try and irritate and do
People and
stuff.
and divide. Yes.
And to transfer that idea to, like you said, customer ratings and reviews and stuff like that is definitely something that the rating and reviews companies, I think they already have detection in place, but they need to like step up their game to sort of make sure or verify or take an extra step to verify rating and reviews to promote stories. So it's probably a bigger problem than we think already.
Mm. We say that on major marketplaces, right? That it's
Yeah.
happening. Yeah,
Yes.
I see that. Let's jump to the next one. Okay. AI suggests keywords for names and descriptions for SEO purposes. Yay or nay?
Yes, of course. Yay. This is happening, but you're mentioning two interesting things in the same sentence there. You're
Okay,
mentioning
go ahead.
AI and SEO. And SEO and AI is sort of not that
Are colliding, right? All right.
they're colliding. Something is happening there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not using Google to search for stuff anymore. I don't know about you, but the nerds out there are not like we stopped using Google a long time ago
I go
because
full perplexity now most of
yeah,
my time. Mm.
and even to search for products or to do stuff like that, I'm like, just give me the top 5 best products in this category. Or I have a good example. I was buying a fridge that had to fit in a cabinet,
Yeah,
and instead of going to the internet and searching for those dimensions,
100% that's the
I
case.
was
Yeah,
like, why would I spend an hour trying to search for the dimensions? I was just, I need a fridge that fits in this
yeah,
cabinet. Go.
yeah.
And it suggests five different, and that's happening all over the place. So that's why I'm thinking that SEO is not dead, but it's gonna change a lot.
But going back to the PIM, you need to have that information very well structured. So whatever AI picks you first because they have more data, right?
Yes, but AI will always AI will always prefer well explained text. That's,
Yeah,
or LLMs will prefer,
yeah.
not AI in general, but that's what LLMs do, right? And so as long as you have a good like general description of the whole thing, that's what you need. But definitely, a and especially on short term, you know,
Yeah,
will still create SEO keywords, and it will be more and more automated by AI.
I can see that. Let me share a quick a quick anecdote with you. We know we are system integrators, but we also have the part of marketing. So we just land a customer that they want lead generations, a very big customer, international. And of course, we ask in the first meeting, how did you guys find us, right? And they say, oh, we find you because we did a deep research on ChatGPT,
Yeah,
these
there you
ones,
go.
to ask
Yeah,
for the best agencies.
nice.
It was very niche. It was based B2B international agencies in Spain. And then Novicell popped up there. And we were like, yes. But it's not, I believe, not just a niche of geeks, it's business already. It's there,
Yeah,
it's happening. We're benefiting from that.
yeah, and I think that people need to wake up to that
Yeah.
reality,
Yeah.
and because if you're just focusing on SEO keywords,
Mm,
that's so 5 years ago.
good point. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Totally. Next one. AI provides real-time market language adaptation. Okay. For instance, I don't know if you know that. I'm here in Spain, but I actually was born in Argentina. And Spanish is a broad language that
Yeah,
have a lot of different adaptation, especially for, how can I say, like almost commodity products, or what, maybe a T-shirt in every country in Latin America, that's called different. But all the rest, my colors are colors, and sizes are sizes, and all of that. You necessarily don't need full translation. Same applies for English, right? In all the markets. How about it? Is it you will see it's a yay or nay for just real-time adaptation of these texts to avoid maybe full website and content translation?
yay, in down the road, not
Okay.
not right now. Now it's not like, because the keyword here is real time,
Right.
right? So
Right.
and like I said, if you want that to happen real time, then down the road we'll probably get there where you can sort of do that on the fly. But the next couple of years, that will still be something that is the translations of products will still happen, not real time, but close to real time, I guess. So we have a feature in Bluestone PIM called the linguist, the AI
Yep.
linguist, and that just does translations and text improvements and also spell checking and stuff like that, and where translation is the most important. And we see an automation of this coming. So we're gonna enable the AI features, this AI feature, into our rules engine. That means that we can make a rule very soon where you say, once a product reaches this completeness score in one language, then go and automate and translate to these languages on the fly, and then that's available. What you were talking about, the real-time market language adaptation, sure, we can do that already if it's, we're talking about 5 attributes or a little description. But people, when we talk about product information, I think people underestimate the complexity often. I mean, we have products in our PIM that are radiation stuff from the space station, like radiation detectors from the space station.
Right.
And even we have another client who has products on the Mars rover. These are not simple products.
No.
You're not talking about simple products.
No.
And you might have 1,000 attributes explaining what these do. So you see what I'm saying? That's not
100%.
happening. That's not happening real time.
No.
Or the really large clients, like I say, our largest client has in one of the largest in the clothing industry. They have over 1 million products in 110 markets. You can take 1 million times 110. That's not happening on the fly.
No.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. It's there. Yeah. I think that's.
I can hear that. I understand that. Those can be done so far, right? In batches, maybe in the background.
Yeah, there is one more interesting thing to say there, because you're talking about rewriting style for different regions. You also have tone of voice. What about tone of voice? That can also be done. So that needs to be thought of in the same sort of. We can talk about that in the same sentence. Tone of voice rewriting for that B2B versus B2C explanations.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the case that I love. Those B2B, and say, okay, these are my shoes, but I will not be talking to my distributor about the product the same way I'm talking to the end customer. The customer, so the text is more aspirational, and so whatever. But for the B2B, it needs to be super practical. Maybe I would even put how many boxes fit into a container. Maybe that's not the information that I want to send to my customer that's going to be buying one pair of shoes, right?
No, right. So and that's a built-in feature in Bluestone. You have like the context, it's the subset of languages. Yeah.
Nice. Next one. I can generate product titles that sound so good that the CEO will attribute that title. It's like, oh, I have written that. So what about to generate fancy product titles?
Yeah, it's already happening.
Okay.
I think that's and it's already a standard feature. And when it comes to generate product titles that sound so good, I think that's very possible. It's all about the prompt that you put in. So great questions give great answers. Sort of that kind of, if you, the more you put into the more thought you put into the prompt, the better it can be. And also, if you think about pre-training your models for tone of voice and stuff like that, it's already possible, it's already there, and it's already a standard feature.
To give more context to the audience, right? Many of these interactions, or many of these configurations, let's call, it's not that different that the everyday use with ChatGPT, right? You have to somehow instruct the system on how you want this title. Build fancy titles, or be very technical titles, or build a title for B2B, and then you put there your attributes or whatever information you have on the PIM, right? So people are already somehow used to that interaction with LLMs.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. We're like, the AI features are, features on top of LLMs, so they work in the same way. What we do is that we give you a standard set of instructions that you can use, as an example. But the point is that, these are just generic examples that might not be the best for you. It's not great questions, so to speak. It's okay questions, just to give you an inspiration. But the point is that you should still think about your prompts.
Nice, love it. So let's jump to the next one, and we have mentioned a little bit of this before, right? But it's adapting the tone for different brand voices, right? It's not just building descriptions as such, but having a different style, right?
Yeah, we were touching on that previously with tone of voice or brand voices. And this is already standard features that are available there, and you can use. The question is, if you, like I said previously, is this happening on the fly, or is this something that you do in the system as a sort of set up a rule that does this in the background every night, or something like that runs and creates these things.
We've seen, however, right, some LLMs that they put the focus on right. I believe this better than me. Mistral is one of the ones that are maybe now have a faster. It's super fast. It's crazy fast. Yeah. So getting close, maybe.
Sorry. And that's also a uniqueness for us, is that we have an AI or LLM agnostic approach, and that means that you can bring your own LLM, and you can train your own LLM when using Bluestone PIM. And this is super interesting. We see it especially when using the analyst. We saw that the Gemini Pro models were actually better at analyzing than GPT-4o. And also that the research models did not really give you anything else.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting. So the point is that if you want thorough or a different job, you can get that by applying that model, and you just get a drop down in Bluestone. You can activate the different models that you want, and then you choose and drop down, and then you sort of can choose the speed by doing that. You can choose Mistral if you want, to have a super.
Or the real, got it. Yeah. For some cases, and that means that you could perhaps also have your own local LLM.
Yes, that's also sort of why we made it, because some of our largest clients actually have their own AI teams and their own AI LLM.
Yeah.
So they don't want this left to chance. They don't want it left to, to GPT or anyone else, like Google. They have their own models.
Or there could be perhaps a case where there's some data that you don't want to send to the LLM. There might be cases. I'm thinking like you want to feed the LLM with the sales of the products, so describe a little bit different, the one that sells more or less, whatever. You say, I don't want to send my sales data outside. So that could be a case also why you want your local LLM, so everything stay private within the organization, right? That could be.
Of course, it could be things like that. Normally, product data is sort of not scary data to send because
it's public anyway. Most of
public anyway. But things like sales data and stuff like that can definitely be something to think about.
Next question that I have there on screen for a little bit. AI to help having my house in order to clean up and having in the right categories of the products. Yay or nay?
This is the most definite yay so far, because this is the first AI feature we launched back in 2019
Whoa.
based on machine learning algorithms. So we launched this, and then basically it was too early. I think people were like,
Okay.
"Yeah, it worked quite well. It wasn't bad. It did this, to place items in the right categories based on the product data, and it did a good work of guessing, but we never got any traction on it. And the reason why is that we saw that our rules engine was becoming so good that people base this on rules rather than AI guessing.
Okay. More
So
deterministic approach
yes,
they
so
preferred.
we see this, and we still see this, that actually, even though they have AI as an option to do this, they prefer making rules,
Yeah.
because the rules will always be followed, and there is no guesswork involved. It's just like, if it's that, then go to this. So that's the standard feature. The rules engine in Bluestone PIM does this for our largest client in a large scale.
It's interesting. I believe this for another conversation, but isn't it interesting how we interact with machines and what are our expectations? Because with machines, we expect none less than 100% of precision, right? We can let our calculator have one calculation done wrong, right? So that's what we're used to. That it's like a toaster either works or it doesn't work. We struggle to think of handing something over to a machine that works 95% of the time, even if
Yeah,
we humans work 90%, right,
yeah,
of
yeah.
efficiency, we still struggle.
It's fascinating. It's a really
Uh,
fascinating thing. But you're absolutely right. AI is sort of a black box for many, and you just have to understand. It's trained on being human,
right.
so don't be surprised when it acts human.
Exactly. Exactly. I really
So
like putting words.
yeah,
100%. Yeah. Morten, last three sentences that I have used. Last three cases. Let's go with AI to recommend product pricing adjustments based on competitors' data. So maybe
yeah,
checking what the prices are outside and adjusting our prices on the website. Yay or
absolutely.
nay?
And there are, yay, I mean, and there are companies out there focusing especially on this. And they have been for many years, the price scraping companies and stuff like
Mm,
that. But
mm,
they are evolving and also utilizing AI. It's not necessarily a PIM feature in itself, like core PIM feature, but rather like a best of breed
right.
component that you can add into the PIM.
Yeah, you can eventually aggregate or add that information to somehow to the PIM.
Absolutely.
Okay, then next one is AI to predict returns based on the product description and images. We all know, right? The product returns is a big thing in the industry. How about that? Yay or nay?
I think that AI will affect product returns in a big way. Um, and I don't know if I was hoping, I'm sort of hoping that AI can work and sort of prevent this from happening, because what you're talking about now is that it predicts the return based on, if it has bad product information, basically. So
Or
it will
maybe you are
predict.
over-promising, right? It's like you're over-promising. This is too much. People won't be
Yeah,
happy.
maybe. Yeah, well, that kind of analysis would be definitely possible and interesting to see. But I'm hoping that AI will also help uh, just creating, so good product descriptions, or true product descriptions, that it sort of eliminates, not doesn't eliminate, but it predicts or it eliminates in a much better way the need for product returns. And we see this now with for example, sizing and AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can use augmented reality models, or AR, and you can basically measure yourself, right? I did this not these glasses, but I bought some glasses from Japan, and they basically scan my face, right?
I put them on. Yeah.
Yeah, this just works, right? So that kind of thing, you definitely will see that. So it will affect product returns in a big way, in different ways, both
Yeah.
making it better from the product side, but also analysis and that kind of thing that you're talking about here.
I like, because there is a big big part of the big part of the problem of the return raised in the product doesn't fit, and that means doesn't fit to myself with apparel, as you said, with glasses, or it doesn't fit in my living room because I didn't know that was that size. That size was not described properly. So
yeah,
yes.
So better product information will sort of hopefully eliminate that or make it better.
I like it. Then let's go for the last one. AI to understand who have made a big mess, maybe in the PIM, but some data that has been displaced. Let's say for tracing what happened in the PIM.
Well, in my mind, you don't need AI for that. In the way it works in Bluestone PIM is that you can't delete anything. It's only flagged for deletion, and there is a complete history service. So
Right.
that means that you can't hide. Like everything is sort of it's already it's there, and it's very transparent who does what. But you can of course use AI for analysis of this, sort of analyze what probably is wrong. And that's one of the things that is on our sort of AI roadmap but it's a little bit farther ahead. But it's on our roadmap, sort of to do that kind of analytics. To guess what has gone wrong, sort of, in the PIM.
I get it, or maybe wrong or right. I mean, right, if all the focus on AI in analysis is on data product, so we could have also the focus on operations, on manual operations, especially in companies where maybe 50 people might be working in different markets and countries in the PIM all at the same time. So maybe just going through the log with that will be a little bit of a hassle. So we can have the AI helping us with the analytics, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Morten, we reached the end of the question. I hope you like them. I definitely like the time spent with you talking about AI. You can understand that I will spending even more time, twice this time, talking with you. But we have to close this
We have
webinar.
to close
Otherwise, it will
this.
be super long.
We're over time already. So, but it's super, like, it's full of rabbit holes and full of interesting discussions.
Let me improvise two last questions for you. Okay, very quick. If you can answer with a almost title in regards to AI. What is the very practical thing of AI that is that you're interested into exploring right now, and what is the most maybe sci-fi crazy thing in AI that you see like, okay, I'm not ready to dig into that because technology is not ready. So what's the most practical, the most sci-fi within this industry, right?
So the most practical is I think that now it's creating customer value so that people actually use this. So you refine the features that are already there so that people start trusting in them and start using them, right? And then I don't know how sci-fi they are, because we're doing POCs now with where the PIM is becoming more of a toolbox than sort of an interface where you're doing automations. We're of course we're moving towards the PIM agent that can operate within the PIM and automate features and automate workflows within the PIM. And then if you're talking sci-fi thing, I think that you're going to see a POC very soon on talk to your PIM, sort of.
I like that.
Just take the products that I uploaded last week. Can you please run the AI analyst on them? Once they reach 70% completeness, translate to Swedish and publish. That kind of thing will definitely be possible very, very soon. And that's what I mean by people are sort of not misunderstanding, but when they're talking about AI in PIM, they're like, okay, we have enrichment and we have AI attributes and stuff like that and categorization. So now we're done. That's fine. What's the next hype coming in? But AI is different, right? So
I like it.
There are a lot of other things that are coming in that will automate, and the user interface of how this works will be profoundly different in the next 5 years.
I like it. I like a lot what you just mentioned. Could it be perhaps the PIM one of the best friends for the R&D team to help them design the next product? Like, what are we missing? Or is it a good idea to launch this product and say you have already 20 of those and then not maybe selling that good or whatever?
That's a good idea, because the product data is there. So maybe an LLM could analyze that. I'll definitely add that thought to my list. That was a good one.
Okay, Morten, thank you very much for your time. I would like to have in the future, if you're available, other conversations with AI, because most likely everything that we have mentioned, even the most futuristic things, in 6 months, they probably would be maybe outdated or standardized, right? So
yeah, it's moving so fast now. So definitely.
It is.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time, Morten from Bluestone PIM. If people wants to know more about Bluestone, they can just go to the bluestonepim.com, right? And they get a lot of all the information that is needed there, a lot of videos that you have also on YouTube. And again, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everyone.